In this lecture, we are going to cover the filtration equipments which are used at large scale. We classify the filters on the basis of either external force which is applied or the operation, the continuity. Okay. And the third way of classifying it is the nature of filtration, which means do we want a cake or is it just for clarification purpose? What is most commonly used for classification is the external force which is applied. Okay, it could be pressure, it could be vacuum, it could be centrifugal force, gravitational force. So here also we are going to explain some filters on the basis of this. In terms of operation, they could be continuous operation, discontinuous operation. Now, if we talk about the principle of filter leaf, it consists of a longitudinal drainage screen. This screen is covered with a filter cloth. You can understand it even better when you will see a video after 2 slides and a diagram after in the next slide. During the filtration, the solid contents of the slurry are retained by the filter cloth, which acts as a sieve, and the clear liquid passes through the drainage system. The vacuum or pressure can be applied to increase the rate of filtration. Then, let me tell you about its construction. See, it is a very simple form of filter. Okay, it consists of a frame enclosing a drainage screen or a grooved plate. The frame, this may be of any shape, square, circular, rectangle, and this whole unit, it is covered with a filter cloth. The outlet of the filtrate, the outlet of the filter or the outlet for the filtrate, it connects to the outside of the frame through suction. Talking about its working, see, the filter leaf is immersed into the slurry which has to be filtered. Then a receiver and a vacuum system is connected to the outlet to extract the filtrate. The slurry passes through the filter cloth. The filtrate enters the drainage canal and then goes out to the goes through the outlet into receiver. Air is passed to flow in reverse direction to facilitate the removal of the cake if it is deposited. The advantages of this kind of filter is that it is a very simple filter, okay, but for a batch process. Now, pressure difference can also be obtained by connecting it with a vacuum or using pressure up to the order of 800 kilopascals. The labor costs are not very high, okay, the efficiency is quite good. The slurry can be filtered from any vessel, and the cake which is formed, it can be simply cleaned by immersing in a filter of immersing the filter in a vessel of water. Now, what is a modification? The modification which we see is uh, if we add many filters in a sequence, a variety of filter leaves if we add, so this provides a larger area for filtration. Okay, so number of filter leaves are enclosed in a special vessel into which the slurry is pumped under pressure. These are then connected to a common outlet, so that this outlet provides a large area of filtration. You can see it in the next video and diagram.
And open the zip entirely. Step 2. Place the Sweetland leaf filter press inside the press cover and pull the cover right over the plate. Step 3. Pinch the edges together to pull the zip around the plate. The zip will be relatively stiff. Step 4. Pull the material down the spout from the top. Secure with a cable tie around the metal spout. You are now ready to install your Sweetland leaf filter press back into position.
The plate and frame filter press works by the mechanism of surface filtration. This equipment, it consists of two units. One is known as the plate, the other is the frame. In between the two, there is filter medium. I'll explain you how they are actually arranged when we come to the construction. During the filtration, the slurry enters the frame by pressure and then it flows through the filter medium. The filtrate is collected on the plates and sent to the outlets. So, in this figure, you can see two diagrams. One is of a plate, the other is of the frame. They are usually made up of aluminium alloy. Sometimes they are also lacquered for the protection against corrosive chemicals and also made suitable for steam sterilization. The diagram with the grooved surface is the plate and one with the open space inside is the frame. So, the frame contains an open space inside where the slurry reservoir is maintained, and for filtration, an inlet is there to receive the slurry. It is indicated by two dots in this description. I am explaining the diagram with the dots method because I saw in various reference books it is explained well by 2 dot, 3 dot and 1 dot method. I'll explain you generally also, but you need to understand using the dots method. Okay, so these frames can be available in different thickness. This frame is selected based on the thickness of the cake that is expected to be formed during the process of filtration. Okay, whereas the plate has a studded or grooved surface, as I already mentioned, to support the filter cloth and an outlet. It is indicated by 1 dot in this diagram. Plate supports the filter medium receiving the filtrate and the outlet. The filter medium, usually a cloth, it is interposed between the plate and the frame. So the plate, then the filter medium, then the frame, again the filter medium, and then the plate. These are arranged in this sequence. Okay, as I just told you, plate is indicated by 1 dot. Okay, the frame is indicated by 2 dot. Okay, then the filter medium is interposed between the plate and the frame, that is 1 and 2. Okay, so the sequence which is maintained is plate, filter medium, frame, again filter medium, and then plate. Okay, these are arranged in a sequence and then clamped to a supporting structure. Number of plates and frames are employed so that maximum filtration area is achieved. Okay, this also depends upon the nature of slurry which we are filtering. A number of filtration units are operated in parallel. Okay, the channels for slurry inlet and filtrate outlet. These can be arranged by fitting eyes to the plates and frames which join together to form a channel. Sometimes only one inlet channel is formed, while each plate is having individual outlets controlled by respective valves. So this depends on modification in the equipment. This is the construction of plate frame filter press. Now let's start with the working of plate and frame filter press. See, the working can be divided into two steps. One is filtration and one is washing of the cake. Washing of the cake is another modification, okay, which we can add to the construction. Okay, this is not necessarily to be present in the construction, but yes, it is a modification. It is an improvised version of such kind of press. So we are going to discuss it in the working. Okay, so basically the slurry enters the frame, okay, from the feed channel. एक feed channel रहेगा, वहाँ से slurry frame में enter करेगी, and then it passes through the filter medium on the surface of the plate. Plate you see in the diagram is marked by 1 dot. Okay, so the solids together, they form a filter cake in the frame. The frame is denoted by 2 dots. The thickness of the cake is half of the frame thickness. Why? Because on each side of the frame the filtration occurs. Okay, so therefore two cakes are formed which eventually meet in the center of the frame. दोनों तरफ से cakes form होंगे, okay, और वो मिल जाएंगे अल्टीमेटली कहाँ मिलेंगे? फ्रेम में. एक इस प्लेट से हुआ जो इस एक साइड की प्लेट पर फिल्टर मीडियम चढ़ा हुआ था, दूसरी साइड पे भी चढ़ा हुआ था, दोनों तरफ से केक डेवलप हुआ हाफ द थिकनेस. ओके, एंड देन दीज इवेंचुअली केक का थिकनेस बढ़ेगा एंड दे मीट इन द सेंटर ऑफ द फ्रेम. द फिल्ट्रेट drains down the surface of the plate between the projections of the surface and then it escapes the outlet. The filtration is continued until the frame is so much filled with the filter cake that the process has to stop. Cake build होना start होगा, the filtration process will slow down. Ultimately it will be stopped. Okay, so that time the frame has to be emptied of the cake which is there. Okay, that cake will not allow further filtration. Okay, and then the cycle is restarted. Now if the washing of the cake is also required, then a modification is required. Okay, modified plate and frame filter is used. For this an additional channel is included. This additional channel is what we call washing plate. Okay, in the diagram you see it as a square with 3 dots. Okay, in half of the washing plate there is a connection from wash water channel to the surface of the plate. Okay, remember the plate is denoted by 1 dot, frame by 2 dots and the washing plate by 3 dots. Okay, so what will be the sequence of arrangement is 1, 2, 3. 1 is the plate, then comes the frame, then comes the washing plate, again comes the frame, then comes the plate. So the sequence is 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, again. So it goes on. So let me briefly recap the entire operation. See, the filtration proceeds in ordinary way until the cake is formed. To wash the cake, the outlets of washing plates are closed. Okay, the wash water is pumped in the channel of wash plate, or it is also called washing channel. Then this water enters through the inlets on the surface of washing plates. Water passes through the filter cloth and enters the frame. This frame is the place where there is the cake. Okay. Then water washes the cake, passes through the filter cloth and enters the plate down the surface. Finally, the washed water escapes through the outlet of that plate. Next, we talk about the rotary drum filters. The, the principle is that it consists of a drum which is rotating at a low speed. Okay, it has a perforated outer surface which is covered with a filter cloth. So during the filtration, the slurry passes through the filter by sieving, okay, under the conditions of vacuum. Additionally, compression, drying and removing of filter cake are possible by using some modifications. Let's talk about the construction. It consists of a metal cylinder mounted horizontally. Okay, it may be 3 meters in diameter and 3.5 meters in length. Okay, internally the drum can be divided into number of rectangular filters or filter units with a curved surface supporting a filter cloth. Appropriate connections are made from each unit through the rotating valve at the center of the drum. In operation, the drum rotates at low speeds so that each unit passes through different zones. There are 5 different zones. One is pickup zone, then drainage zone, followed by washing zone, then drying zone and the cake removal zone. So let me elaborate each of these zones in the section of working of rotary drum filters. First, the slurry is kept in a trough. Okay. For the filtration, the drum is dipped into the slurry. The drum is rotated at a speed less than 1 revolution per minute. As the drum dips in the slurry, the vacuum is applied to the outlet, which is connected to the filtrate receiver. So, a cake is formed. A cake is formed on the surface of the drum and is drained or partially dried by a vacuum. As the drum enters the washing zone, it is sprayed with water to wash the cake. Okay, so here we reach the washing zone. Retaining the vacuum connection drains the cake and produces partial dryness of the formed cake. Then the drum enters the drying zone where hot air is blown over the surface of the cake so that it is dried. Then with the help of knife which is attached or manually, it can be removed, this dried cake. When the solid contents of the slurry is too high, there is a possibility of the filter cloth becomes blocked with the particles. In this case, a pre-coat of the filter aid is deposited on the drum before the filtration is started. The advantage of rotary filter is that it is an automatic process. Okay, so there is continuity during the operation and therefore the labor cost is also low. The filter has a large capacity, therefore it is suitable for filtration of highly concentrated solutions. Then the speed of the rotary drum, it can be varied to adjust the cake thickness. If we pre-coat it with the filter aid, this will also accelerate the rate of filtration. And of course, it is a drum of large surface area. So a filter with large surface area is always beneficial. But then if we talk about the limitations, you see there are many moving parts involved. Okay, so one-time cost is high. In addition, accessories are also connected like vacuum pump, vacuum receivers, then agitators. Okay, so these things also add to the cost and maintenance. Then the cake tends to crack due to the air drawn by the vacuum system, so that washing and drying are not efficient. Being a vacuum filter, the pressure difference is limited to 1 bar and hot filtrates may boil. It is suitable only for straightforward slurries, being less satisfactory if the solids form an impermeable cake or will not separate cleanly from the cloth. You see, there are two types of centrifuge filters. One are those which use perforated baskets, okay, and they perform operation like a spin dryer, what we see in our washing machines. The other types are solid walled vessels, where the particles sediment towards the wall, the inner wall, under the influence of centrifugal force. Let us first come to perforated basket centrifuges. So as you can see in the diagram of perforated basket centrifuge, it consists of a stainless steel perforated basket, just like you used to see in the semi-automatic washing machines. Okay, so this could be 1 to 2 meters in diameter and it is lined with a filter cloth. Okay, the speed of this basket is can be changed. Okay, so more is the speed, more the basket faces the stress. The product enters centrally and is thrown outwards. Why? Because there is centrifugal force which is acting on it, and this is held against the filter cloth. The filtrate is forced through the cloth and then removed via the outlet. So the filtrate is removed via the liquid outlet. The solid material is retained on the cloth. So a sort of cake is formed, which can then be washed if required by spraying water into the centrifuge, or you can stop the process, remove the cake and restart the process. These filters have been used for separating crystalline materials from the preparation liquor, example in the preparation of aspirin, and then for removing precipitated proteins from insulin. They have the advantage of being very compact and efficient, though first one time cost for investment is high, and they can process about 200 kilograms in 10 minutes. They can also handle concentrated slurries, which might block other filters, and it gives a product with very low moisture content, as low as 2% weight by weight. So this is also saves energy, which we will use in drying. Next in line are tubular bowl centrifuges. Tubular bowl centrifuges are used when you have to separate liquid. These are used during the antibiotic manufacturing, purification of fish oils, and removal of very small particles or solid particles that are compressible or slimy, which could generally easily block the filter medium. Okay, it's also used for separation of blood plasma from the whole blood. These centrifuges are very compact. They have a high separating efficiency and are good for separating difficult solids. But they have a limited capacity. They are complicated to construct to achieve the required speed and minimize the vibrations that are produced during the process. Okay, so basically it consists of a cylindrical ball. It rotates at a very high speed. The product enters at the bottom, and centrifugal force causes solids to be deposited on the wall as it passes up the bowl, the liquid overflowing from the top. Next, the metafilter. Metafilter is a pressure based filter. The principle is that it is how it is different from other filters is that the other filters provide a surface of filter media for filtration. Okay, whereas this is an edge filter, where edge of the filter media is the site of filtration. If we talk about the instrumentation, it consists of a stainless steel rings, okay, multiple rings with semicircular projections on the surface. When these rings are packed together on the rod, they form a tapering channel. The central rod has grooves on the surface, which provides a channel for discharge of the filtrate. The rings are usually made up of stainless steel. These are about 15 mm inside diameter and have 22 mm outside diameter and 0.8 mm thickness. Okay. The metafilter is mounted inside a vessel which contains the slurry. Once the vacuum is applied, the liquid flows from outside to inside and enters the discharge channel formed by the central rod. But such metafilter is only for straining of coarse particles. In order to filter finer particles, filtrate such as Kieselguhr is used. It is built upon a pack of rings. Because it can withstand high pressure, it can be used for filtration of viscous liquids as like syrups. It does not require changeable parts and has no problem of wear and tear of components. This kind of filter is very commonly used in pharmaceutical products. The removal of cake is also simple and can be achieved by reverse flow. In the next slide, you will see the working followed by the diagram of metafilter. One last kind are gravity filters. I have not discussed them in detail as they are rarely used in pharmaceutical products. Okay, so they employ thick granular beds, okay, and are widely used in municipal water filtration. So because their use is very much limited, I have not discussed its the variants and in detail its construction in this presentation. Okay. The gravity filters, which use suspended media composed of thick felts. These are sometimes used for clarification at smaller scale, but still, even at smaller scale, Buchner funnel is used in laboratories. The question comes, how should we select the filtration equipment? Okay, so there are some general facts which you need to pen down in this. First is, of course, we need a fast rate of filtration at any time. The cost should be low, both at the time of purchase and the maintenance cost. It should not undergo any kind of corrosion on interaction with the filtrate or the slurry. The cleaning should be easy. That is how we are going to how we will maintain it easily. It can filter large volume of product before cleaning or replacement of the cake which is settled above. There is no interaction with the filter media. Sometimes the components of the filter are leached due to interaction, okay, or there is some degradation or swelling of the filter medium. Then the size and type of equipment and time needed for the process is a very crucial factor while deciding what filter equipment we are going to use. The pore size of the membrane, again, what is it, the size we want to filter. We want the filtrate, or we want the one which stays on the pores. Okay, so the size, according to that, we have to finalize. Then if a product to be filtered requires heating, when they're high, these are highly viscous products, we need to heat them to lower the viscosity. So the steam jacket should be fitted to the filters. Is there a possibility to do that? Okay, so, and the last point is, this also applies in case of sterilization, where we are applying pressure or we have to sterilize while filtration. Okay, the filter should be able to withstand that pressure. So these are the selection basis on which we decide, okay, this is the filtration equipment we are going to use for our process.